Me personally, it is okay to talk about conspiracy theories, but when does one take it too far? And let's just say some of these people, what the fuck? Chase Hockey here with the Blue Futon, reviewing MH370, the plane that disappeared. So this is about the plane that disappeared in 2014, if I'm not mistaken, going from Malaysia to Beijing or Hong Kong to that, and then all of a sudden it just disappears. Thin air, no one knows where the hell it went. And this documentary talks about where this plane could have gone. Could it have gone the normal route? Did it turn? Then when it turned, did it go north or south? And where is the plane now? And unfortunately, 2023, there is no bodies and only a few plane parts that have been found. So, did I like this documentary? I thought the first episode was very interesting. It goes through what could have happened. Could have been the pilot, and that was the main focus of episode 1 was the pilot. Episode 2 was the hijacking, and episode 3 was the French going crazy. You're going to be like, oh, that's offensive. No. Hear me out. So episode 1, I thought was pretty good. It talked about the pilot, what the pilot could have done, because at that time, it is the pilot and co-pilot controlling the plane. And that is probably the best scenario where the pilot just wanted to commit suicide. If you talk to my personal opinion, it is the pilot said, enough is enough. Turn into the southern Indian Ocean. And that's just my personal opinion, just because what they found on his hard drive and just the most common sense route is he took control of the plane and he said, you know what? Goodbye. It's as simple as that. But here's the thing. People now take nitpicks of like, what's in the cargo? Who was on the plane? What is going on here? What about the other Malaysian airline that got shot down over Ukraine? So there's way too much stuff going on. And with that, this is where I just kind of go downhill spiral with the documentary. Okay, there's Russians on the plane. Whoop-de-fucking-do. Not all Russians are bad. Let's repeat that. Not all Russians are bad. Alright, so we got it out of the way. If there's Russians on this plane, it does not mean it has anything to do with Russia when it was like 234 people on the plane. Divide that by 3, that is like 0.00 or 0.06% of the people on the plane. So I'm sorry. I don't believe that. So now we're going on to the hijacking, to the Russian part. And that's where it is where it turned. And there was this thing saying we probably went south to the South Indian Ocean. But it could have gone north to Kyrgyzstan or another Stan country, and because of the cargo on the plane. Do you know how hard that would be to go underneath the bow and just control the plane without seeing where the plane is going and no one really taking control of the plane? So it's like, that's just so fucking weird. I don't believe it. All right, there you go. So another conspiracy theory out of the way. And the third one is literally the French thinking the Americans have to do with it. That the Air Force 2 AWOL planes, if you know what I'm talking about, have you ever seen Transformers? The first one where they're over the desert and they're basically doing radar. That 2 of them basically shut down, jammed this plane, and did some conspiracy shit to the plane. I'm sorry, what? With cargo that wasn't American, that I think was Chinese. So this went through Malaysian airspace, Vietnamese airspace. It went over an Australian base. We are now in the southern Indian Ocean. So you're telling me the Ukrainians, the Russians, the Americans, the Chinese, the Malaysians, the British, the Australians, the Vietnamese got together to make this conspiracy theory of this plane disappearing. French, are you that fucking crazy? I don't want to be a dick, but I'm just thinking, you're really thinking Malaysia, China, Ukraine, Russia, the U.S., you got Australians, Vietnam, and I think another country conspired? You really think they conspired? What? The most simple reaction is probably what happened, and that is the pilot went on its own and did his own thing. People act like people know what's on every single aircraft. And I hate to tell you, That's not the case, even on military stuff. It is, you really think it's happening on civilian shit too? It's just so ridiculous about the conspiracy theories that happen here. Yes, some of them can be true. We can look at COVID, lab leak, but here's the problem with the lab one. It came from Wuhan. There's a Wuhan facility that deals with viruses. That's not a conspiracy theory. That's looking at common sense. Here, the common sense is, you know what? Look at the hard drive. Look what happened. It was a freak fucking accident. It isn't no Russians went under the plane and decided to fly a plane from down low. It is no AWAC planes basically over this. Two of them bearing off. You would think that at least an Air Force pilot or a crew member on that plane would have said something. At this day and age, there's too much money for whistleblowing and everything like that to happen. So I'm sorry, no. And then the conspiring of all of the fucking countries? Shit, people, some of you are just fucking cray-cray in the membrane. But overall, MH370, I thought the first episode was interesting, but it just went to people guessing and wanting to have whatever's in their mind come true that just go way too off the wall. But I can't complain. I was entertained, but to a fault. So MH370, the plane that disappeared, will receive a 2.5 out of 5 with Futon because at 50%. So see the critics' news scores gave this one. So you have critics in 80%. I'm kind of shocked. With 5 of them, audience score 26% with 35. And I completely understand the 26 because of the conspiracy theories. But the 80, I'm fucking a 4 out of 5, a 3 out of 4. I mean, people are even saying they're giving the 3 out of 4 that it is far-fetched. Yes, it's completely far-fetched. Like I said, as a person who really knew nothing about it, it was interesting to see what people were coming up with. But my God, you're just like, what? 80, 50, 26. Chase out with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One more thing is Futon Topia, Blue Futon. Take a watch. Have a great day. And I don't care if you're watching this a day from now, a week from now, a month from now, or a year from now. I love every single one of you. So thank you so much for watching this review.